Back in 2005,
I'm Batman.
before loot crates, DLCs, and pay-to-win games, we had good old fun single-player experiences. I'm talking about the year that released Devil May Cry, Conquer Live and Reloaded, Destroy All Humans, Resident Evil 4, Kingdom Hearts 2, and the first God of Freaking War. Along with all that and much more came a little game called Psychonauts, an action-adventure game about a little psychic boy named Rasputin, who after running away from the circus, joins a summer camp for kids who have similar abilities, and are trying to become Psychonauts, aka psychic spies. The best part of the game by far was the exploration aspect, because you are not only exploring the campgrounds, you're also exploring various characters' minds. Once in there, your job is to help them overcome fears, bad memories, resolve mental issues, basically Dr. Phil their ass from the inside.
Up a can of whoop ass on you.
And you do this by attacking bad ideas and solving puzzles with the use of several awesome abilities like telekinesis to pull and throw stuff, Psyblast to shoot stuff, pyrokinesis to set stuff on fire, etc. Enemies are tied to mental illness and emotions we as humans can easily relate to, which makes the game hit right in the feels. And with it being packed as something that you could easily be watching Saturday mornings on Nickelodeon with quirky, clever jokes, Tim Burton-esque art styles, spy noir jazz music, goofy and interesting characters, amazing ball-tripping levels, it's just easier to digest and even harder to put down. Despite getting high reviews in 2005, it didn't reflect on sales and it was considered a commercial failure, even for myself. It was always one of those games I didn't get around to, but always heard good things about. I didn't play it until it got ported to the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One in 2016. And even then, with the graphical difference and sometimes wonky camera controls, the charm of the characters, the crazy setting, and intriguing concept of infiltrating minds to fix people is what pulled me in and made me a proud member of the cult classics following. Which brings me to the sequel, 16-year later sequel. Okay, it was more like 4 or 5 for me, to be fair. Hey, but they felt like 16. Unlike decade-later movie sequels and reboots, I feel like long-awaited video game sequels rarely disappoint. I'm positive I'm blanking on some right now, but please feel free to remind me down in the comments. But Psychonauts 2 definitely isn't one of them. The story picks up after the events of Psychonauts in the Rhombus of Ruin, the VR game, where Raz joins Sasha, Mila, Coach, and Lily to rescue Truman from being kidnapped by Dr. Lobato. In the interrogation of Dr. Lobato, we discover that there's a mole within the Psychonauts, whose mission is to resurrect Maligula, a hydrokinetic tentacle lady, who after flooding the capital of Grulovia, was killed by the Psychonaut founders, the Psychic Six. As Raz, you become a Psychonaut intern and are tasked with helping out where you can by going to class, sorting out mail, but soon enough you find yourself creeping into people's minds. The game stays true to the first formula and manages to recapture what made the first game great. I felt right back in the zone the first game left me in. It's kind of hard to do that with so many years between games. There are a lot of collectibles to help you level up Raz and rank, to get skill points to spend boosting your abilities, along with consumables for help and some cool pins that help in melee damage or bigger blast radius, stuff like that. Even though there wasn't a single pin I couldn't see myself without, I did find the pins to be a nice addition. Gameplay remains the same with fun platforming, simple melee combat and puzzle solving. It has an early 2000s vibe that provides fuzzy nostalgia. The 2021 graphics help a lot too, while maintaining the same art style but still looking fresh and new with beautiful textures and graphics. Raz's movements and camera controls are obviously improved and feel so much smoother compared to the 2005 port. You never talk about good camera controls nearly as much as you would talk about bad camera controls. And I do remember having some issues with the camera controls from the port. Needless to say, this was all tidied up in the sequel. But like I said in the beginning of the video, the main kicker of this series are the mind-bending levels. They're so weirdly creative, you just want to walk around them. Unfortunately, for the first 5 hours or so, the game doesn't let you. Up until you get to go outside the mother lobe, the pace at times is so lightning fast it doesn't let you engulf yourself with the weird ass environments, even dangling some collectibles in front of you before yanking you out the level, leaving you with a sense of incompletion. There is some backtracking once you get different abilities to reach certain parts of the level you couldn't reach before. I don't know why I'm trying not to say Metroidvania, but yeah, Metroidvania aspects, but they only serve for collectibles and some side missions. So you'd be 10 to 15 minutes in some linear exploration, combat, and puzzle solving when you get bombarded with over-explained cutscenes and dialogue. There are parts where, no lie, where you go from cutscene to a loading screen to a cutscene to taking literal 2 steps into another cutscene. Although the game is barely longer than the first one with roughly over 18 hours of story and side missions, I kind of felt cheated when almost 4.5 hours of that is cutscenes. It's not all too bad though. The comedy is quirky and interesting and fun, and it does help that the voice acting is great, with Jack Black and Elijah Wood lending their voices. Good old Jables performing a great catchy song because of course he did. But after those initial 5 hours, the game finally opens up, finding its footing between gameplay and cutscenes, providing you with a handful of hub worlds to break up the pace, giving you freedom to explore as you please. There are so many creative levels, sequences, and fun boss battles, each one different from the last. And that's the point I'm trying to hammer home here. Because it's not a particularly difficult game by any means, some might even say it's too easy, that's not the point here. I think Double Fine's agenda was to put us through an acid trip without using any drugs. And they succeeded, kinda. They did use one drug though, sweet nostalgia. Because while I was playing, I couldn't stop thinking about the lost art of the action platformer, and the void that games like the first Psychonauts game, Sly Cooper, Jak and Daxter, Voodoo Vince, and up until recently Ratchet & Clank have left since the early 2000s. Psychonauts 2 was able to do what many try but few succeed, that is to satisfy old and new fans of a series by simply taking what made it a cult classic in the first place, shining it, making it better and accessible for everyone. I really enjoyed it and recommend it to any and all lovers of the genre, and can't wait to see what Xbox Studios and Double Fine have in store for its sequel in 16 years. But let me know what you think. Have you played the original? You should. Have you played the second one? You should. And if you did, let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. And don't forget to drop a like and subscribe for more videos like this, and don't forget to always and forever, you do you.